Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and today begins what is probably a slew of Final Fantasy XIV mobile videos. While I still have other projects that are kind of in the background that need finishing, Path of Exile, and some other general Final Fantasy XIV, even some 11 stuff. 14 Mobile just became available in the last day or so over in China for beta testing. So for anyone who thought it wasn't going to happen anytime soon, yeah, the beta tests have already begun. We have an idea of the specs that are required. We have a new gameplay trailer that was put out, which we're going to be watching for this video. There's videos and screenshots surfacing all over the internet, going over the UI, the features, more of the gameplay. Obviously, this video is going to be kind of jump cutty a little bit. I took a look at it while I was doing Ultimate last night. And we're just going to go over this. I'll actually be able to pay attention to it since it won't be weaved between doing Ultimate clears this time around. It'll actually have, audio and everything as well. And we're going to just see how it looks. There's a lot to cover here. There's a lot of, relative uncertainty. There's also a cat about how all of this is really going to pan out, especially as we get closer to the 14 mobile release. So, on the YouTube side of things for the video, I do have a sponsor insert to do here before everything gets started here on the live stream, which we're doing it. You won't have to see that, but, editing magic, go now. Before the video kicks off, though, you guessed it, Magic Spoon is sponsoring the video. They've been on the channel for all of 2024, and can you blame me? Delicious, high-protein cereal, and with me, that's definitely important nowadays. I'm always looking for ways to change up my protein intake, and Magic Spoon offers me a nice alternative. I not only get to hit my protein goals for the day, but I get to do so with a great-tasting cereal. I also love snacking, hate to admit it, but I just substitute in Magic Spoon whenever I have it, as opposed to something like chips. You might even call me a cereal snacker. So if you'd like to try Magic Spoon while also supporting the channel, click the link below to get some today. Build a custom box of cereal with tons of available flavors and throw in some treat bars if you need something on the go. Best of all, use my link and discount code Mr. Happy to get $5 off of your box. You can also buy it at your local grocery store or even on Amazon if you'd prefer. And if you don't like it, Magic Spoon has a 100% happiness guarantee. Let them know and they'll refund you, no questions asked. So click the link below or scan the QR code on the screen and use code Mr. Happy to get $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/Mr. Happy to save $5 on your order. It even works in Canada and the UK. Thanks again to Magic Spoon for sponsoring. And now, back to the video. And we're back. Thanks for watching it and enjoying it. They sponsor the stream. They sponsor the channel, actually, not the stream. They sponsor the YouTube videos. So we appreciate Magic Spoon for that. Okay, this is about a 2-minute long video, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of small details since I really didn't get a good look at it the last time. So it's so weird seeing this knowing that it's not for the retail game. It's still really strange. Yeah, running around. So you can already see kind of a few things with that right from the get-go. I'll go back a second there. Still running around and exploring. It's interesting because, so we know that there is motion controls and they're running from location to location when it comes to this spot right here. I know that if you check really closely, you can kind of see it on the left, but it's hard to see. So you have quests at the top, you have the mini map, you have the weather. Looks like you have social links, and then you have the general menus. Bottom right has sprint, I guess just the generic class action, and then I don't know what that last button is, so I'm going to have to move myself around quite a bit here. You could see in the bottom right. Sprint, that's the exact same one. I don't know what that other one is, but we're going to find out as we check out all the other stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of gameplay related stuff that's already out. And then in the bottom left, you can see the social features that are there. It's kind of tucked under everything, as you can see right before it cuts off down here in the bottom left. I don't know if this is to get on the Chocobo. I believe this is emotes down here. This is at the bottom. You can see the job with HP and MP. It looks like by clicking that, you can change what job, given there is a change symbol right there. And then you have another drop down on the left. As we go to the next map sequence, you can see this is just, over in Gridania. You can see the only real difference here is that he appears to have some sort of mail or gift up top in the UI. So this is probably the most mobile looking piece of everything up here on top of the actual UI menus that we'll see when we take a look at some of the screenshots a different time. But otherwise, I mean, that's 14 all right. See him running through a Fate area right here over in Lenosha. You can also see some of the updated UI elements in the map. You can see the Aetheryte looking a lot more crisp, the Chocobo symbol. All the symbols kind of just looking a bit more, well, I guess more blown up is more so the way to put it. Like the mini-map, all the icons on it, probably to make sure it's visible, more visible, are kind of like enlarged. Could be this person's settings as well. We do also have, of course, the Fate timer, the type of Fate that it is, the amount of time remaining, the amount of progress, the usual stuff. Quite concisely put here in the top right, not taking up too much space. I actually kind of like that it seems to replace the large portion of the other social features and the other kind of more mobile menus that we saw in the top right. You can also swap back to those mobile menus by clicking through that section right there. You can see the Fate join symbol at the top. See him hitting it with a few skills. See all of the skills right here. You know, just going through everything. See, he's just AoEing. It's doing just a few different things. This Fate, that Fate. Just running around doing Fates here in this gameplay video. You do also have in the bottom left what looks to be the combat log, given that that is an effect being gained and or lost there in the bottom left. Yep. Some monk action, some warrior action, some mount action. So this confused me, but later on in the video, we get a better idea of it. This is not how you fly. You don't necessarily fly at this sideways angle. This was just them doing a cinematic thing. No, movement is as you would expect. It's like 14's movement. You run around the map. They just went for a really cool angle here, and you do have a separate control here on the right that allows you to both go up and down while you're flying, as well as a dismount button here on the right. You can also see the return of a lot of those other features in the top right as well. This is just more like a mount showcase as they're flying through. The gold saucer. Now this actually just makes a whole lot of sense. And again, we get an idea of the updated UI. You can see the point counter in the top left. Other than that, you know, this Air Force One isn't going to be that much different. We also have an updated UI for Triple Triad here. You can see that the cards are seen at the bottom. Your opponent's cards, based on the rules, are going to be seen at the top. The countdown timer for the remaining turn, as well as some of the other features involved with it. You also have a better, you can also get to see animations, it looks like, during Triple Triad, which is actually really cool. And you have the card count of who's in the actual lead when it comes to playing on the right. Yeah, we have our gates, which that one's going to be interesting. Like, listen, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't nervous about doing this on motion controls. But I mean, there you have it. I mean, it's just like all the other. Is this, that's not the fashion report on the mini map, is it? I just noticed this. Is that it looks like a stack of cards or something. I'm not sure. I don't remember what NPC is normally standing there. I haven't been to the Gold Saucer in a hot minute. Was that wasn't Chocobo Racing. It made it look like it was the first time here, but it's not. This is just them running around. You can see that their current quest is a main scenario quest in the top left. You can also see that this appears to be before they have flight because their Chocobo can't fly. Either that, oh no, if they press this, their Chocobo will go into flight. I thought this was a jump button for a second. No. This will actually straight up lift off, and then the up and down controls will replace it. All right, and then you also have the party settings, by the way. It looks like you have your quest and you have your party settings. That's what this other one here is. And of course, we have Kurthus. No other UI elements present in this one. You can see them moving around. So that gives you a better idea. And again, you can actually see right here. Again, it's been really hard to see, but this is the motion control kind of indicator here on the right. Now, it looks like over here there is actually a jump and a flight, because maybe this was jump and they didn't have flight yet. And now this is flight and this is to the ground and dismount. There's also another quick button for it over here. I can't help but notice, which makes sense because that's where the mount button is to begin with. It's not far from the motion controls itself, so you can just reach over with your left thumb or whatever device I suppose you're actually playing it with. But you can get an idea of even just them turning the bend there. That's representative of the fact that, you know, you are just going to be moving around the world, and the actual flight being normal in that other section. And then we come to Titan, who this was the bit that I really saw. I didn't get to check out all those other bits till just now, but then we have actual Titan. If I recall, it's Titan Extreme that they actually showcase here. There's Mr. Titan. So you saw, okay, so we have, I saw the pre-buff shields. Looks like we have another buff before we start, a persisting one to boot. And I mean, look at the mini map. You can see kind of the idea of how much bigger all the symbols are, so it's easy. I wonder if you can zoom that out further as well. So yeah, this is them fighting Titan, traditional comp. It's obviously going to be a Realm Reborn comp because, there. And also there's the limit break button, which we hadn't seen in prior things. And you can also see it's got 3 bars underneath it, LB 1, 2, and 3. So all those elements are present. Am I bugging, or did Tomahawk just generate 10 gauge for him? I think it did. Hold on. Let me go back and see if he was at 0 and then yeah. So it looks like the way the Beast Gauge interacts will be a lot more active. Now, we expect this if you've watched the job action trailer that we actually took a look at a few weeks ago. The gameplay is very, very fast, and there are also some job features that are a good bit different with the job gauges. Bard, for example, has a rhythm game where whenever they're in repertoire, they have to press the song again during a certain time in order to perform another action, which I actually thought was really cool. All right, so what were the actions that he had there? Because we're still trying to get an idea of how many actions they are. So this looks to be roll actions, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to see what button. Yeah, so by pressing the tank button in the bottom right, so you can see the tank symbol down here, it opens your roll actions. And in the roll actions, we can see, I believe that's provoke, arm's length, and rampart all. So then we get a few different POVs. You can see they're moving around. They're playing like it's Final Fantasy 14. Dragoon's doing their rotation over here. Looks like Litany missed 3 people, so that's bad. Yes, I had to notice. I'm sorry. There was a landslide that we just had. We still have Weight of the Lands, which is frightening to imagine. It looks like it didn't really hit that hard, though, because the Dragoon actually ate a Weight of the Land there. And you can see it really only took their shield and a little bit more of their health, just to get an idea of the mechanics. So it might be expected that you actually need to survive a little bit more than, just being able to dodge absolutely everything. It also looks like the repertoire thing isn't actually happening over here, which is interesting given the job thing that we saw earlier. We have knockback here. Yeah, there you go. Mountain Buster, the classic. All right. That's going to destroy the rest of the arena. Yeah, maybe this is only hard mode. I mean, that looks, I don't know, actually. I think this actually is only hard mode, or even it might just be the story. Who knows? Maybe they just made the story version look a lot more like the extreme version, because it's got the 3 waves, but it doesn't have the 5 waves. Unless was the other one 5 waves? Is this one 5 waves right here? No, that does look more like the extreme ones, though. It's 4. Oh, no, it is 5. Yeah, that's the 5-way wave. I also like the dead person just has an X through their name in the party list at the top left. Oh wait, no, so here's the thing. This is the story version. He's level 35. So this is, I guess the story version is just a lot more intense. Yeah, look, if you can barely see it down here, but the warrior is actually only level 35. And I'm going to assume that this other buff then, I mean, I just noticed, oh, that's the Bard's song. That's why. Oh, the Bard doesn't benefit from their own song. Wait, but now the Bard does have it. I thought I had it, but then they all had it. I was like, maybe that's something else then, because I don't recognize the symbol off the top of my head. I thought maybe for a second it was Echo. Anyway, that's another couple of things, and we have the stomps, of course, the tumults. He's leaving the arena. He's doing. Looks like this would be where in extreme people get marked. We did also see very, very quickly there the activation of the roll actions to arm's length. How many people actually arm's length this? Only the tank. Oh no, the tank and the Bard did. Okay. Yeah, and then we could see the jails. Yeah, so this is some sort of alternate version. So the story version appears to be 8 players here. And I also just noticed he only has 750 health too. That also would have been a tell. That would explain why that attack wasn't lethal. However, they did have a lot of deaths. And they do, of course, have the limit break over there on the right-hand side. Or it's almost 1 bar. Excuse me, almost 1 bar full. I saw the cutscene at the beginning, and I was like, I wonder if this is even extreme. And that's because it's not. And yeah, that is our first, that is the first look of gameplay we are going to get. Now, this YouTube channel, Chan, C-H-A-N, they are the ones who posted the other video as well. So it seems like we'll be coming to this YouTube channel largely for any promotional materials. I don't know if they plan on posting anything more general about the Chinese beta. But yeah, that's our first look. And I mean, it looks a lot. It looks like Final Fantasy 14. There's obviously still a lot of information, but I mean, again, it's kind of hard not to just say it just kind of looks good. Like it's definitely a lot more effort than I think most people expected. I know that even though Yoshi P and team had said that you were going to have to move around and avoid AoEs, and it was going to, still generally have the soul of Final Fantasy 14 in it. That most I know I had one person I spoke to say, honestly, I expected them to do something more turn-based or something like that. And it's like, dude, that's the opposite. You have to press way more buttons in the mobile version than you do in the, at least at a much faster pace. Like the cooldowns are shorter. And I mean, you even have your auto attack button that you can actually press if you have no actions available or you need to save your actions for something. If you actually press where your job symbol is, it does like an auto attack chain. So for healers, probably good news when you don't need to be healing for any specific capacity, because you will be pressing that if you're not pressing one of your other offensive or, restorative abilities. But again, that's Final Fantasy 14. They actually looked like they did a pretty good job with making a generally mobile-friendly 14. I just wonder how it's going to feel to play. Atticus says, wait, you can heavy this version of Titan? I just noticed he has a heavy on him. That almost slipped my mind. That almost slipped my eye after the first time. Yeah, I don't know. It's impressive to see what they pulled off. That doesn't necessarily speak to whether or not it will be something that is, good to play, even if you're a 14 player on the side, or if it is just going to largely be people who don't usually play 14 because of the free-to-play barrier to entry for this one. Although don't forget that, retail Final Fantasy 14 does have the critically acclaimed MMORPG that has a free trial that has unlimited playtime and includes the first 2 expansions, Heaven's Word and Stormblood, up to level 70. That's also always there as well. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this will keep going, but there's a lot to go over. Like I said, it's all on the internet. Everything that's been happening with the Chinese beta. Arthur's gave me permission to scour through his footage because he's been live streaming it to, take a look at all this and to produce some content on it. So that means I've got a lot of work to do over the next several days. So expect a lot of Final Fantasy 14 mobile stuff to be popping up on the channel. Don't forget, we have Chaotic next week on retail as well. I'll be posting some videos on that, a clear VOD guide, as well as some thoughts on how it's actually executed, as well as the reward structure and how that actually ends up panning out. So prepare for the first of many. But I'll include a link to this in the description. On the YouTube side, I'll post a link to this once, on the live stream side, I'll post a link to this as soon as I'm done. And with that, let the season begin. Anyway, that's going to be a wrap for the YouTube video. Thanks everyone for watching over there. Thanks again to Magic Spoon for sponsoring the video. And on the streaming side, I'll get back to actually paying attention to you. Thanks everyone.